Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you are doing fine and everything is falling in your place. So, today we will do the Simcat 6 analysis. I hope many of you must have scored low marks, but that's not the issue as the cutoffs are way lower in this Simcat. As I can see that, just wait a minute, I would see the analytics. So the 97 percentile mark in the Simcat 6 is at the 68 marks. So this is not the marks which you couldn't get, but this doesn't depend that you should be here. You should be much higher than this. The reason why I'm saying this is whether even if you have scored 0 marks in the VRC, there is a scope of getting 68 plus in DLR plus quant. Obviously, for those who aspire to get a high percentile. When the cutoff goes this low, that means you have opportunity to beat your own expectations, because this means that 97% of the people fall off of their expectations. Obviously, this is not like Simcat 2. Simcat 2 was much higher than Simcat 6. So this is a no-brainer, and 68 marks I would say this is very low marks. Although 68 marks was 99 at Simcat 2, and here it is 97. Still, we will see that what's the reason behind my reasoning of you should be scoring more than 68 in this marks. I have talked to some people regarding their marks also. Some have scored pretty bad in the VRC. So we will first talk about the cutoffs of the VRC, DLR, and quant, and now, then we will focus on how could we clear the cutoffs at least. And so the cutoffs are 17, 17, and 18, almost the similar cutoffs. That is about 52 marks, right? So 52 marks is the cutoff. That is the marks which you could have received if you have got the cutoffs cleared, just cutoffs. So in the VRC, if I start with the VRC, there were 4 passages. The new thing in this mock is that 2 RC, then VA, and then 2 RC was there. So this is to break your momentum. I would suggest if you are habitual of doing 4 RCs, then first complete the it doesn't matter if you are habitual of doing the RCs first completely and then VA, then follow the same path. The paper setter is trying to break your momentum and trying to distract you from your desired path. Okay, so the 2 RC, VA, and 2 RC, this is much similar pattern. The next thing is the type of RCs which we receive. So the RCs are one is about the one is about something fictional tales, and there was questions based on the preposition and something passages on this side. So the first passage, if I precisely say, is about, just wait a second. Some about the fiction and the use of the words and how it influences, something like that. Not an easy to read stuff, obviously. After that, if I see, there was passage of technological biasment, that is how AI is biased and everything. So this passage was not easy to read, and if I see the questions were pretty, you can say, 2 were doable in this, and the this one was a good passage, interesting to read, and the questions were not that difficult. Because why I'm saying it is not difficult is that there were some traps set by the question setter, and if you have good knowledge, you can easily surpass those traps. So that's the plus point here. after that there was a passage of some South Korea, Chinese and US. To be honest, this passage I couldn't understand. The one reason is that time pressure. I attempted it as fourth passage. The other reason is that it was hard to read, and the third reason is that questions were not that easy. Questions were also hard, so it was on the higher note, obviously. So the next is something about English and the words in English, Norse influences. So again there was one passage regarding the language. There was some simple English language without the complexities, and there was some other stuff. Then there was some discussion of the Europe and influences of, and how the there is a one particular society called Celts or something, which had an influence which removed the difficult stuff and made the English some smoother. Now when it comes to the VA, again VA was a bit normal. When I say normal, it was like every other mock, irrespective of the marks. Marks may vary, but on the first instance, or on when you were sitting in the paper, it must have felt that it was not that hard. So obviously, this is the passage which is easy to read. Then these two are equally difficult, I would say, and this is on the higher note. So 17 cutoff is justified here. I mean, justified in the sense that it is not the low. It might be very high for many, but it is not obviously the low cutoff. And just 85% at the 17th in this paper is somewhat surprising. And to be honest, I don't know the reason for such a 68 marks low overall cutoff, but yeah, if it is, then one must take the benefit from it, because now we will analyze the DLR set, and you would get to know that there were 4 marker sets and there were 6 marker sets. 4 marker one was on the voting lengthy set. It was lengthy, and many people have missed it because it was difficult to read, difficult to interpret, and there were 3 stages, so it was way difficult for the people to understand. Now so the next is the typical cat type set, where 6 numbers were added to get a 7 numbers. This is a 4 marker set, but again a very lengthy set, and 95% of the student must not have cracked it when they tried it. It is just because when you try these types of sets, there is some odd probabilities that you might solve it, you might get it correct in the exam, because there was seemingly unnecessary pressure. Plus typically these questions don't have any direct formula. It is completely based on the hit and trials or some logic, so you have to be very well at the logic and hit and trial for these sets. Then there were sets of the Northeast. This I felt the easy ones. There were 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 cases you need to make in this set, and all cases got eliminated except the one. So that's how you could solve it. So the other set was, I have to check which one is, so there was the couple making set. There were couple rooms. So at the first instance, or the first look, what I get to know that these sets as compared to this set have a varied level of difficulty. I mean, there was very much difference. Though I didn't do this set, so this might be easy or difficult, but at the first look it seemed difficult for me. So if you are sitting in the exam, you can go like this. Obviously if you are confident, you can go for this if you are confident, but I would suggest go for this after attempting something else first. The reason is that you would get confidence after attempting something else, and you would also have scored minimum marks when you attempt any other set, and then you can proceed to this set. So the voting set was difficult to read, but the one catch is there, that is only one person got eliminated. So you have to keep trying till one person get eliminated. What that means? That means that round 1, round 2 and round 3, you have to go through all 3 rounds, and in round 3 you can see that D1 gets eliminated. So that was the trick, not a trick, but yeah, some prior understanding, or the understanding on the basis of the set, you could have inferred it. After in this set, even if the the first number is 99999, this number is 999, and you add, you would see that this digit, the leftmost digit, is always the 1, must have to be 1. From this you get h is equal to 1. Then there were 3 to 4 cases, but when I look on the questions were straightforward with no if and but, so that means there would be one unique case for this, and you have to keep trying for that unique case. In this, on the first instance, it seemed good set. It seemed the set where you have to do minimum calculations, because there were 20 total, and there were some digits where the quarter 3 plus quarter 4 total amounts to just 5 or just 4, or something like that. So even if it is 5, you just have choices like 1 4 and 2 3 and 3 2. That's it. So if you take this case, you have to just draw the 3 cases, and maybe 4 or 5 cases based on the extendability, and after the 5 to 6 cases you would get your definite answers. So that is very good thing for the especially 6 marker set. The coupled room set might have been easy, but at the first instance I don't think it might be easy, so I left this set. And now we will come to quant. This time I felt quant was on a higher side. The cutoffs also makes it justified. 18 is the cutoff, and on the 51 you would get 99.97. So this is the quant plan. So my focus in the quant is always on the marks you get in the examination, not the post-test analysis. Post-test analysis is of no use in any section. That is the reason is, if you do the post-test analysis of the quant, you would find 17 to 18 questions doable. But do you really think that if you had right strategy and everything right at your place, you could have scored 51? That amounts to 99.97 or 99.8 or maybe 100%. So that's the difference. The difference is that when you sit in paper, when you do something in the actual paper mode, the efficiency got reduced or the nervousness gets increased. So you have to consider that also before calculating your post-test marks. So if I discuss the quants question, there were nothing much to discuss, but as we can see, the level of geometry questions were increasing from the previous mocks. Earlier there were easy quants, but nowadays the quants level is increasing. Then they were giving some probability questions, P and C questions, just to make you well aware, and it is also a time breaker questions. It can break or kill your time. Then time and work questions is also not that easy. Then there were questions on the advanced algebra where you have to apply no formula but the logic only, just like there was question 1 minus p plus a. So this is pure logic questions. And then there were some TSD, good questions of TSD. So the best thing about the Simcats is that in the quant they give a mix of the topics. So plus the questions, some questions are there. For example, there is a question of n is greater than 30 and how many values n can take given the values of a and b. So these are the questions which are not related to any formula or n is related to any topic. These are the questions which you see in the exam first time, and you have to encounter these questions on that day, on that time only, and that makes you different from the others, because if you just applying uh, the things you learn, so that means you have prior knowledge, and you are not using much of your brain. So for example, there is a question which I saw, sin x plus cos x is equal to uh, 2x square plus 2x plus 2. So this is the question many of you might have confused of. But what I did, I found the minimum value of this expression. So when I found the minimum value of this expression, like 4x plus 2 is equal to 0, so x has to be minus 1 by 2. So now I find the value of this, that is 1 by 2 plus 2, and then minus 1 by 2. If I put here minus 1, so that comes, that minimum value is minus 1.5, 1.5, sorry. And now if I find the minimum value, maximum value of this, the maximum value of this expression is root 2, or I can say 1.43. That means this expression is always less than 1.43, and this expression is always greater than or equal to 1.5. So there is no match of this expression. That means there would be no roots. So these are the things which you have to solve like this. I don't know what answer they did and how did they do it. Okay, so yeah, so they also did the same thing. So these are the things which you have to apply on that time only, and that's the focus. Again, there was one good question of pyramid. Many of you might not have known the formula for the volume of the pyramid or the total surface of the pyramid. So that is one question. So I think you must you overall a good mock. And so as far as the cat is concerned, cat might not give you this type of mock with this VRC. Even if cat gives this type of mock with this VRC, they should give this level in all the slots, not in the 1 or 2 slots. And if this happens, VRC cutoff will surely went down by 3-4 marks. That means 14 to something 15, or maybe to 12, I don't know. But as far as DLR is concerned, I think this DLR is pretty good, and the cutoff is pretty good also. In the cat, the cutoff might be 15 marks. Why I'm saying this DLR is pretty good and not hard, because if you go for the 2020 cat 20 DLR, when there was a first paper of 2-hour pattern, it is conducted by IIM Indore. The good thing is that DLR is hard in every slot. Slot 2 has exceptional DLR hard. The rest slots have one easy sets or one doable set. But from this we can infer that cat can give anything. It has a very good surprises. As far as the QA is concerned, I have personally didn't see any cat where the QA troubled too much. Cat 20 slot 3, people were saying that the QA was difficult, but the result showed something else. So it was not that difficult, and good people have scored a good number of marks in those things. So overall, difficult mock. The difficult mock I am saying because all three sections were on top notch, so it was not like one of them was very easy or something like that. So overall a good mock, and you should have learning from this mock and not to worry about your score. But yeah, you can worry about the percentiles. One major learning or one tip is that if for example, you are doing good in all three sections, but sometimes what happens, we miss some things and the score went poorly down in one section. For example, if someone is okayish in VRC, and for example in some mock he or she might have scored 0 marks or maybe single digit marks, and due to that the overall score gets down. Or for example, if one is very strong in DLR but something happens in the mock and the DLR got uh, turned upside down, so that is the another thing that you should not be concerned of. In that case, believe in yourself, believe in your score, that you have scoring very good in the past and you will score very good in the future also. uh, the another thing is that in those things you could add the bare minimum marks you are getting, and you can see the increased total amounts to what percentile. Because at this stage there is no point of worrying about your scores, there is no point of being tensed up. The things happen, you can't have every mock in line. If you have, then you will not have learning. So if you want learning, the lowest the score, the more the learning will be. Because uh, if there is a very easy mock and you scored poorly in that mock, that means you have done something exceptionally wrong. So that might have repeat, or that might have come first on the D-Day also. So you have to know about those mistakes also. For the the motive of the mocks is that you must be aware of all your mistakes. So that's it for the day. If you have liked the video, you can like the video and you can comment down your reviews. Stay tuned for the next review. Thank you.